them on Desmos. So just to let you know that we're going to start with this question. So if you'd like to flip over to your page or just watch the screen, it's up to you. And on the right-hand side, you're going to go to your Google Classroom and you're going to click on Desmos Test Practice. Friendly reminder that you do live in the state of Texas, so you'll need to click on Texas to make sure that your calculator is in testing mode. And we are EOC Algebra 1, so it's the second one, and you'll start your practice. If you see on the question on your left-hand side, it says the quadratic function f of x is equal to x squared is transformed to create g as shown in the graph. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see it's a little small. I know that the first function, I can type in exactly the way I read it on the screen. So I'm just going to type in f of x equals x squared. However, I know that it got transformed. I just don't know what the new function would be. If I wanted to look at it and kind of guess a little bit, I know that it's going to move down, right? And then it's moving to the left. Down is going to be a straight negative, except for the left and right, it's always the opposite sign. So it's a little confusing, but I do know it's going to shift down -2. So I can count my 1, 2 units, and then it's going to shift over to the left. But I just want to make sure to check my work because I would pick out of the 4, the top 2, because of the shift down. However, can you still check the last 2? Absolutely. But we're going to start with A because it's easier to go in order to not miss an answer. And you're just going to type in g of x equals f and then open parentheses x plus 3, close them, -2. So just at a glance, whenever you see the vertex on the blue line, remember you can take the color off and you're still left with the original function. Once you click on the color, you see that the blue appears. We're looking at A. If you look at the vertex, you do know that the vertex does match this one. See, -3, -2. But whenever you go to the zeros, also known as the x-intercepts, they don't quite match the x-intercepts right here, which happen to be -4 and -2. So I'm going to try B. And if you read B, it reads g of x equals 2. So the only difference is that 2. So I'm just going to type in 2 right there. F of x plus 3 minus 2. Once I make that small slight change, I do know that the vertex stayed the same. However, the x-intercepts do now match the new graph g of x on my question. So I know that B happens to be my answer. If I wanted to continue to check C and D out, I could type them in right here and I would see that those weren't the answers. So let's just type in quickly. And you already know that C is not going to be the answer. And then the only difference from that one would be just adding the 2, and you can see that D is not the answer. Okay, so let's go to the second question. F of x squared is going to be our original parent function for quadratic, so it's already entered. I'm going to leave it there. However, I know that my next function is going to be g of x is equal to f, open parentheses, x plus 7.2. So whenever I type that in, I need to change that to an equal sign. So g of x equals f of x plus 7.2. I can click off my color, and I know that my original parent function, x squared, is red in this example, and the blue is the new one. If you click on the vertex on the red, it's at 0, 0, which is the origin, and the vertex of the blue is -7.20. So when you're looking at your answers, it's very easy to confuse the B and the D. So you have to look very carefully, choose the correct one, and you can see that B is the answer for the new vertex. The third question is, we're starting off with f of x equals x squared, which is our parent function, was transformed to create a function g of x. Okay, so now I have a new function, g of x, f x minus 3, close parentheses, -9. Okay, so now if I click off the blue, I'm left with my original quadratic function, which is x squared. But then I click the blue and I can see, it shifted to the right and it shifted down. I have a vertex of 3, -9. So whenever I read the rest of the question, it asks, what are the coordinates of the vertex of the graph of G? And the answer is 3, -9. And that's just simply by using your Desmos calculator. Last question. Which answer choice describes how the graph f of x squared, again, our parent function, so we can leave that in there, was transformed to create the graph of n of x? Well, that's different. So we're just going to type in n of x equals x squared, and then move this over to side a little bit, -1. And then I can zoom in right here if I need to. I can click on the vertex right here. And again, just a friendly reminder, click off of the green and you see the original parent function x squared for the quadratic. Click on the green, you can see that the green was shifted down. And just keep in mind when you zoom in and out, just be careful. Don't count the little squares, count the actual units. So right here, depending on how you're zoomed in, it could look like you're going to count 1, 2, but it's actually just shifting down half a unit because that you can zoom in quite a bit and see that it's -0.2, -0.1, or zoom out to where it's just a one-on-one. So you would just count 1 unit down. Just be very, very careful with the Desmos whenever you zoom in and out. Don't count the lines. Make sure you click on the vertices to check that the vertex is in fact at 0, 0, and it shifted down 1 unit. So your answer, you're not vertical shift up, no horizontal shift, no horizontal. So the answer is C, a vertical shift down. I appreciate your patience with this video. Please ask any questions and have a great day.